It is Monday, March 2nd, 2026. The volatility index is spiking, the algorithms are hunting, and you are staring at a chart that is it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the geometry is flawless. It is exactly what you backtested.
Right. But when your finger hovers over the mouse to execute the trade, you just freeze. You physically cannot click the button. I mean, why does that actually happen?
Well, that paralysis is what we call the cognitive conflict. And honestly, it is the single most expensive problem in trading today.
Because we are looking at a deep dive today that completely ignores moving averages and support lines. We are focusing entirely on the execution gap.
Exactly. It is that massive disconnect between what you know you should do and what you actually do the second capital is at risk.
Which is a crucial distinction, right? Because in a backtest, everything is perfectly static. You're a genius when the market is closed.
You really are.
But right now, in this chaotic 2026 environment, it is pure sensory overload.
Right, so the mission of this deep dive is to isolate those specific friction points where your strategy falls apart. And the research is extremely clear here. The problem isn't your charting skills, it is your biology.
Okay, so let's look at that freeze moment. You see a high probability breakout. Logically, the analytical mind says go, but something else pulls the emergency brake.
That is because you are switching processors. You have this analytical mind that builds the plan, but the moment risk is introduced, your survival mind just hijacks the controls.
So this is that neurological hijack the sources mentioned.
Yeah. Your amygdala, that ancient alarm system in your brain, it literally cannot distinguish between a 2% drawdown and a physical predator in the bushes.
Wow.
So when you see a pullback on a live chart, your body floods with cortisol.
Which perfectly explains the sweaty palms and the racing heart. It is not just nervousness. It is your body literally prepping you to run away from the trade.
Precisely. This is loss aversion playing out at a biological level. Your brain invents a narrative to justify closing a winning position early.
Just to get that immediate relief from the stress.
Exactly. It chooses safety over potential profit every single time.
And there is a very specific time frame where this battle is lost, right? The 3-second window.
That is the ultimate friction point. The moment a signal flashes, you have exactly 3 seconds. If you do not execute immediately, that window opens up to the paradox of choice.
Especially with the way our feeds look right now. Real-time social sentiment and instant news alerts.
It is way too much signal. If you hesitate for even a second, you start drowning in data.
And your theoretical edge just dissolves into emotional guesswork. You start actively looking for evidence not to take the trade.
Right. So if the problem is hardwired biology, then willpower simply isn't the fix. You cannot just try harder not to be human.
No, you have to bypass the human element entirely. The research calls this engineering a systemic bridge. You stop relying on courage and you start relying on infrastructure.
This is exactly where the concept of a dead man switch comes into play.
Which is an automated execution layer.
Yes. You define the parameters, your entry, your stop, your take profit, all before the session even starts. You use tools that execute the trade automatically, so your survival mind never even gets a vote.
But that forces a massive shift in how you actually measure success. It is no longer about whether you made money today.
Right. It completely changes to asking if you adhere to the script. That is the discipline currency standard.
Because in this era of algorithmic dominance, you cannot outcalculate the machines. You can't predict price better than an AI.
So your moat isn't intelligence anymore. The moat is your ability to endure discomfort. Discipline is the only sustainable edge left in 2026.
If you need to summon willpower to hold a trade, you have already lost. That is the huge takeaway here.
It is not about the chart. It is about the bridge between the chart and the click.
So that leaves us with a necessary audit for everyone listening. Do not look at your P&L today. Look at your execution gap.
Compare what you intended to do this morning with what you actually did when the heat was on.
Because that delta, the difference between your plan and your panic, that is where the real work begins.
Absolutely.
So here's a final thought to mull over before the markets open tomorrow. Start tracking your physical reactions. Does your posture change? Do you hold your breath when a trade goes live? Auditing your body might just be the very first step to auditing your trades. Thanks for diving in with us.